Again.
All righty, everybody. Welcome to our Talking Real Estate segment with Champions Real Estate Team at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. Every week, every Wednesday, we get together about 12 o'clock here on our Zoom, as well as our Facebook Live on our Champions Real Estate Team Facebook page. Kind of talk about what's going on in the market. Russ Williams with Arbor Bank will kind of give us a rundown on what's going on in the mortgage industry for the week. Jeff Peterson with Champions Real Estate Team has joined us as well. And then we also have Patrick Bonnett with Encore Tax Prep and Encore Financial Services. So we were going to kind of talk about what's going on with the Homestead tax exemption, talking about the deadlines to work on your property taxes, as well as the property tax valuation protest that goes basically through the end of this month to get your documentation in. So first off, we'll kind of go. My name is Mark Wayne II with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway. Thanks again for joining us. Kind of go over what's going on in the market. So as you know, the summer kind of heats up, and we kind of had a little bit of a cool down today, which is kind of nice out there. The market is still pretty active amongst everything. I'll share our weekly statistics here and pull it up. All right, so what do we got going on this week? We have over 511 new listings. That's up 51 from the previous week. So as you can see, as things kind of loosened up with the COVID-19, some things are starting to return back to normal, still with precautions out there as well. But we're seeing activity on the listings. Our number of active listings dropped down to about 2,475, which it was last week, was about 2,500, 2,575, so almost 100 less active listings on the market. So what we're seeing is there's more contracts being written. The numbers came in here at Berkshire Hathaway that we had the largest pending sales that we've ever had in the month of May. That's basically been our highest month here. So, you know, with COVID-19 out there, you know, we want to still be safe and cautious about that, but the housing market really hasn't slowed down. So if you're thinking about buying and selling, you know, now is a great time to get out there and get after it. So, and we can help you with that. We do have our home buyers packets as well as our home seller packets available on our website at championsrealestateteam.com. You can go into the seller section or the new listing section for the buyers area and download those for yourself. And we're happy to go over anything with you. And we do our quarterly buyer and seller seminars. So we just had our buyer seminar. What was that, last week before? But I'm looking forward to working with you if you have any questions. So once again, market is very active out there. Typically, as we come into the 4th of July kind of holiday, that's kind of when we kind of start seeing a little bit of a slowdown, you know, with people taking vacations. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, in the next couple of weeks, you know, just with the COVID-19 stuff going on, if people are going to, you know, venture out a little bit more, and if we will kind of see that normal slowdown, and then kind of figuring out what's going to happen with school this year. I don't know if I haven't heard anything unless anyone else has. If they've made a final decision, if it's just going to be more of the virtual stuff, or if they're going to have people going into the schools and stuff. So that usually slows down the market a little bit through there. So with that, I guess we'll jump over to Russ. I'll unshare here. And Russ can kind of touch on what's going on in the mortgage industry in this last week. I just kind of heard the market or the interest rates kind of ticked up a little bit, but I'll let Russ kind of cover it, what exactly is going on. So take it away, Russ.
Mortgage rates remain remarkably strong. Again, they've been holding very steady now for pretty much the entire period that we've been in the COVID environment. Your government loans with good credit are generally at or below 3% for long-term fixed rate, and your conventional loans are in the range of 3% or slightly above, depending upon credit profile, which is very strong. We also just saw this last week, the last couple of days, as a matter of fact, that the Nebraska Investment Finance Authority, NIFA, which is a first-time homebuyer bond program, just saw a rate reduction. So for the first-time home buyers that are looking to purchase a home, NIFA financing right now has gone down a little bit, and there's still some grant money out there as well that you can tie onto that. So it's a great time to buy a house. Purchasing power is very strong for borrowed money.
Yeah, so I think that is as we're seeing, you know, prices go up, and you know, in the mortgage industry, record lows as we got there, I think is a good opportunity to get that purchasing power. Even on the refinancing side, if you've just bought your house the last couple of years, might not be a bad time to take a look at it and just see what your options are. You know, that's kind of here at Champions Real Estate Team. That's what our goal is give you enough options and information so that you can make the best decision for you and your family, when it comes to real estate and that aspect of it. So I guess we'll jump in with Patrick Bonnett. He is with Encore Tax Prep and Encore Financial Services. We kind of brought him on. We were going to touch on what's going on in the property valuations and the homestead tax exemption. So kind of let Patrick take away and we kind of discuss that.
All right. Thanks a lot. And it's really nice to join you folks this morning. If you want to make me a host, I'll share my own screen.
Okay.
The month of June is really a pivotal time for realtors and for tax professionals. Most tax professionals don't have anything to do with property valuations. They just kind of leave it. For my clientele, I've got about 540 clients in the metro area, a few others outside of Omaha, but I will often tell my clients that they should treat their property taxes very similarly to their income tax. You got to manage both. House is your biggest asset, biggest liability, and property tax has a lot to do with all that. So that being said, June 1st through 30th is a pivotal month. It's the deadline. June 30th is a deadline for homestead exemptions, and it's the deadline for property valuation protests. First up is the homestead exemptions. If you can see my screen, for those people over the age of 65 and depending on their income level, they can qualify for a percentage of property tax relief between 10 and 100%, 10% and 100%. And so that's really everyone under $43,201 if they're single and $51,301 if they're married or closely related or widowed. Also, there's an exemption for disabled veterans and other disabled individuals. So it's $46,901 for veterans, and for everyone else that's disabled, $54,701. So now's the time, if I'm a realtor, to position myself with my clients as their value-added real estate advisor. Don't just sell properties. You got to help those people manage properties and be there with a wide net to cast a wide net to catch them when they're on the move again. Over the years, I've determined that about 5.5% of my clients are in the move at any one given time. So that's a number of referrals. So anyone here on the call today that has a close relationship with their tax advisor or financial advisor, hopefully those people are listening to their clients and are able to dish those folks out as a referral. To file a protest, you have to file with the county. It's form right here, 458. You answer a few questions and then add a second form, which is a financial form, and you just report your income level. Okay. So June 30th, that's the deadline.
Yeah, protesting a tax valuation is one of those that's, is giving us a holler here at Champions Real Estate Team, and we can kind of take a look and do a market analysis for you and just kind of see if it makes sense. I know when I bought my house in 2007, I paid 106 for it, and when the housing market kind of went down, basically it dropped. The same exact house you could purchase dropped down to like 104, 103, and they assessed my tax assessment at 112. So it was one of those, you could buy a brand new house for less than what they're taxing me, and I basically filed a protest, provided that documentation and evidence, to the Board of Equalization, and that way then they basically reduced it back down to my purchase price. So that's a way that you can, like how you said, Patrick, is save some tax money on that, save yourself that aspect of it, and we'll help you here at Champions and Berkshire to go over those numbers and see if it makes sense. That number, your assessed value, you want that lower because that's what your taxes are based on. So
that's right. You not only earn yourself some client loyalty, but perhaps their referrals. And if you charge a fee, such as $300 for a CMA and the preparation of your forms, just do 2 or 3 of those a week for the month of June, you're talking another $3,600 of annual revenue just in that 1 month. So great way to build that into your budget or your projected revenue streams. But the data that you're providing is not just market value. You could be making a market value argument, or you could be making an equalization argument. And for realtors that are farming a geographic territory, for instance, becoming the real estate agent for a specific subdivision, for instance, that really allows you to penetrate that market because you're comparing those homes one against each other, one against the entire subdivision, or just against the comparable sales in that area. So one or both of those arguments, market value or equalization, and you always want to include your market value adjustments or MVAs, things like broken siding, broken windows, missing railings, things like that that need repair. In order to get that market value adjustment, you get a contractor, submit an invoice to you, to the Board of Equalization along with photos and things like that, and those market value adjustments can be taken into account when you submit this protest.
Yeah.
Everybody understands what MVAs are?
Yep.
All right.
Here at Champions, we do our market analysis for our clients in Sphere. We don't charge a fee to do any of that, so we'll do that, happily to help our clients out. So that's one thing that we do for our past clients and future clients.
That's a free value add, but certainly a dollar value should be attached to that. Yeah. And then explain to your customers or clients that, hey, this is something that adds real value to our relationship.
Yeah, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so over the years, we've seen year over year 20, 30, 40% increases. It really ticks people off. Some of the years, and I've been doing this since 2001, but we've seen entire subdivisions targeted by certain assessors or assessor referees. So understanding the staff down there, who they are, where they're coming from, what their methodologies and criteria are, that's key. So if you haven't yet developed some relationships downtown, I highly recommend that. And also just to be able to better explain it to your audience and to your clients. And that way they kind of know going into this process what's all involved. Because usually you get denied. Most people, especially in tight economic years where the county doesn't want to give away too much tax money, they'll just kind of rubber stamp a denial, and then the next step would be to take your case before the TURC, or the Tax Equalization and Review Commission in Lincoln. The TURC is just a intermediary. It's the next step. It's kind of a mitigation or mediation step before you go before the district court. So if you don't get satisfaction with the county assessor's office and the Board of Equalization, you take your case before the TURC. If you get denied there, then you can move up to go to district court. This is huge for a lot of the commercial clients out there. Last year I had a client, $12 million property, saw a 30% increase, and it just broke his margins. So he's preparing a case before the TURC. They're a year behind. The TURC usually is about 2 to 3 years behind on the residential appeals. Commercial's a little bit different. They handle it a little bit differently. He doesn't expect to get satisfaction and fully expects to go before the district court. So we'll see how that shakes out. But you can see how quickly the margins can shrink.
That's all great information out there, for the public out there to know that you can kind of protest your property taxes. I know sometimes you get the letter in the mail, what your valuation is, and people kind of, we just built a house, my wife and I, and we just got our valuation in, this last, 2 months ago or whatever, and kind of looking at it. And it's one of those, it's like, we know what we built the house for, we're not going to protest it at this time, but I looked at a house around our area that they built last year, and theirs made like a $30,000 jump in 1 year, and it's like, I thought that was kind of really high, maybe reaching out to that person saying, hey, this is something that you can kind of look at and take, the comparable homes that are out there, and file that protest with the Board of Equalization. So
when I'm describing this process to my clients, I always like to use story selling. And I kind of pick on my sister, but they bought a house for $325,000. Kids were in St. Roberts, and for the first 2 years that they're in their home, they experienced a 20 and then a 40% jump in their property valuation. And it just broke the family budget. They closed their service station and opened another small business. And during that process, they got just whacked with property taxes. So the answer for them was to pull the kids out of St. Roberts and stick them in public school. Absolutely heartbreaking, because we're Catholic, big Irish Catholic family. So that was an important part of their lives. But they just couldn't pull that little extra bit. It's not little. It's $3,600 a month just to send your kid to elementary school at St. Roberts. But property valuation increases led to the property tax increase, and they just had to tighten their belts, and that's the sad result of it. So knowing those stories from your clients, you can share those. It really endears those clients to you, and the referrals just start rolling in.
Yeah. Good. Well, appreciate the insight. So once again, it's Patrick Bonnett with Encore Tax Prep, as well as Encore Financial Services. So if you have any questions, if you want to stop sharing, I'll share your Facebook page that I pulled up, so people can know where to get some more information.
You can go to encoretaxprep.com. Feel free to send me any messages or meet up if you want to see some of these in action.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time.
All right. Appreciate it. All right, Phil, I can't get on the share my screen. All righty. Well, appreciate everyone joining us again today for our Talking Real Estate segment of the Champions Real Estate team here at Berkshire Hathaway, Home Service Ambassador. So next week we will have Jeremy Stansloff with Vivaldi. There we go. Vivaldi. They do all the exterior stuff on your home. So we're going to kind of talk, as we kind of last time we had the big storm coming in. Didn't see too much hail or anything, but we'll kind of talk about as we get into the storm season and ways that they can help you out with regards to that. So once again, appreciate everyone joining us. As always, you can check out our website at championsrealestateteam.com. We have our buyer packets, seller packets. You can search all the active homes that are out there coming on the market. I want to thank Russ Williams with Arbor Bank for joining us as well. Jeff Peterson and Rich Howdle with Champions Real Estate Team. And once again, thank you, Patrick, for joining us. Kind of giving us a little more information about the Homestead exemption, as well as the property tax valuation if we're working the process. So if you are looking to have questions about your valuations, give us a holler, reach out to us either on our Facebook page at Champions Real Estate Team or message us or email anything on our website as well. And we're happy to look into that and see if there's a protest is warranted for you and help you out with those steps. So thanks again and take care and have a great rest of the week and enjoy the nice weather. Hopefully we don't get blown away out there. So take care and thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.